Since I was little, I have always been intrigued by the supernatural. There was something inexplicable about it, almost a magical feeling, as if an invisible connection existed with what lay beyond the ordinary world. It was as though something unknown whispered to me from the dark corners, from the rustling leaves on windy nights, from the distant calls of owls echoing in the moonless darkness. This pull towards the mystical has always been within me, and, oddly enough, I was constantly surrounded by people who could tell eerie tales, things that set chills down my spine. Their stories were not just tales. In each one, there lived a shadow of something ancient, forgotten, something better left undisturbed. One of these stories was told to me by my godmother. I clearly remember that evening. The wind was howling outside, tearing branches from trees and throwing them around the yard like an angry child with its toes. We were sitting in the kitchen, where the lamp cast a dim light on the walls, creating long, twisted shadows. The fire in the stove crackled, and it seemed as though it was listening too. My godmother spoke in a quiet, even voice, as if she was afraid to wake someone unseen. She told me that she had heard this story from her mother, and her mother had heard it from hers. And so, from generation to generation, it had been passed on, like an ancient legend that couldn't be forgotten. It happened long ago, perhaps in a time when villages didn't even have light. In the wilderness, where people lived simply, where everyone knew everyone, and the nights were dark and deep, like a bottomless well. In that village, there lived a girl named Oksana. She was beautiful, with thick black hair that fell over her shoulders, and large brown eyes that sparkled with life. But beauty wasn't her most defining trait. Oksana was hardworking, like a bee, and her hands seemed to have a special power. Everything she touched turned out the best. If she wove a towel, the pattern was even and precise. If she baked bread, the aroma spread throughout the entire village. But she had one trait that made her different from others. She was stubborn, like no one else. No one could convince her if she had set her mind on something, and she hated losing. If anyone started a debate with her, she wouldn't stop until she proved she was right. And one more thing, she feared nothing, absolutely nothing. The women in the village whispered to each other that such a lack of fear was a bad omen, that every person should fear something, for fear is what keeps you safe from danger. But Oksana only laughed in response, and one day that laughter led her to something that would change her life forever.